Good evening and welcome to the couch. You're on the couch with Sharita and Connie. Connie, say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody. If you're just joining for the first time this year, want to say hello. Welcome to the couch. Welcome to a place where you can just come sit, be you, get some much needed rest, news you can use, whatever you feel like doing, prop your feet up. And for those who have been with me since the start of it all, I want to say thank you. Happy New Year and God bless you. Just bless everybody all around. And speaking of blessings, want to first and foremost give credit where credit is due. Thanks to the Almighty God for just allowing us to even see another new year, and for anyone who has lost anyone at the start of the year or coming to the close of last year or anytime last year, definitely want to offer prayers and condolences and just, wrap our arms around you. But thank you for everyone for supporting us, and thank you, Father God in heaven, for just even allowing us to have a platform to do this. Like, this is just such a blessing. I'm pretty excited about this topic for tonight. We have, or at least before Connie came on, I have talked about mental health. I've talked about family. I've talked about a lot of things, and the platform within itself was more geared toward mental health and coming to the couch and finding your chair and having a place to sit and just kind of, taking a breather, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And it still is that. And it's morphing into its thing. It's growing. It's getting some meat, I think. And thanks to you guys for your support and just tuning in, and whatever you're doing, when it comes to just supporting us, Hindsight Media Radio, the couch, and everyone else, just keep doing that. But this thing is growing, and it's morphing into its own thing. And so the hope is that we can continue to bring you good topics, hot topics, news that you can use, whatever that is. Because we want to support you just as much as you support us. So just, really just want to shout out you guys and just thank you for that. But I'm pretty excited about this topic and what's happening, tonight, and especially in the new year as people are making these goals and resolutions. I've run across a lot of people looking for love and dating, and things on social media about people looking for love. And this is it's a pretty hot commodity, I guess. It's kind of like weight loss and going to the gym. I mean, it's the thing that's happening. But Connie and I got into a discussion about love and dating, um what we call the blind reality and the unrealistic expectation. Now, I don't, Connie, had you and I have were talking and having a discussion about what this is. Now, my definition of blind reality, the mindset of accepting what exists without questioning whether or not, whether it should be accepted. And unrealistic expectation is more of just really just kind of like not, it's kind of like not seeing the forest for the trees. Like, that it's just not the thing. Like, it's not the reality that this thing exists. And especially when it comes to finding love, we're assuming about people, relationships, how life should be. That's the unrealistic expectation. And so both of those seem to have their disconnect. Connie, you had an argument earlier, because you and I
Yes.
got into a discussion. So you
Yes.
talk about to me, this audience, what you think blind reality is, and the unrealistic expectation when it comes to dating. Because I firmly believe that it exists in both spaces. um and we definitely, as we're talking about it, want to kind of give some people some good tips of the trade, when it comes to dating and falling in love and all of that. or even if you're already in a relationship, but talk to us. What was your argument about the blind reality and the unrealistic expectation?
Okay, well, first of all, like you introed, I want to give thanks to God. It's a new year. Please take this time to embrace the opportunity of creating a new you. God's word says He will restore, so we're going to lean on the fact that also that His word says the power of life and death is in the tongue. We're going to speak being new. We're going to claim restoration, and we're going to walk in that.
Right.
New year, new you, do new stuff.
Right.
Now, Dr. Sharita just gave y'all the dressed up, all statistical, the fancy version of the blind.
Yeah, I'm trying to be sweet about it. I'm trying to be sweet about it.
That, but I'm gonna break it down and be hood.
Oh Lord, here we go. Here we go.
I'm gonna tell you how the people should really look at it.
Oh my
goodness.
For
the people.
Y'all sit back and relax and buckle up, because see, when Connor get going, she get going. So go ahead. We listening.
The people, y'all know who y'all are. I'm talking to the real folks. Okay. So here's what Sharita and I were talking about earlier. You have all of these different, especially on the socials, these different skits and things that are presented that are quite entertaining. Depending on the specific skit, there are times when you can glean some pearls of wisdom from those. But there are times when the blind reality, quote unquote, is just so obvious, but the participant or the person just does not see themselves. So, example, you have a man who is wanting the opposite of everything he is. So you have a man who's overweight, who is poorly dressed, clothes might even be dirty, unkept, just totally just not appealing. But he wants a partner who is completely appealing, who is top tier, high caliber, all of this stuff. He has like these demands. But so the blind reality is, dude, are you not looking in a mirror? The unrealistic expectation is, why would someone way up there want to be with you? Because if she takes you on, you become a project. She's got to fix you up, comb your hair, wash your clothes, make sure your nails are done. And that she's not wanting to be in a relationship to work like that. Is that really
unfair though? So, but is there why? But is there like really a thin line?
That is very unfair. That is so unfair. I mean, I can understand every relationship takes work,
right?
But not work like that. Now you're her project or his project, because women do it too. Now you're the project, and some people will even argue, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with me." What are you not seeing? There's a lot that you could improve upon. He's not trying to change you.
Maybe he's looking for somebody to just like, hey, I need me a woman who can change me.
No.
If this is who I am, and I'm looking to be better and do better.
No.
Why can't I, as that man, not find some woman to like? Because maybe he needs the help.
I am not trying to work hard like that. Now, when you come to me, you should be put together to some degree. And if I've got to do all this stuff, then next thing you know, I'm going to be a nurse.
I got that.
No.
I got that.
No.
So would that fit in the unrealistic or the blind reality, or both?
That's the unrealistic expectation, wanting the other person to do all this stuff.
So what would be
the blind reality is, why can you not see that you need all of this improvement, that you need all of this work? Now, if you're happy being like that, that's fine. Look for someone on that same level, but usually that's not what they want.
Right.
They can see it in someone else, but when they look in the mirror, totally blind. It's like looking in the mirror with your eyes closed with glasses on. And the truth of it is, even Ray Charles can see it, but you can't.
Really?
Really. You know how people do. People, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all know, the real folks know what I'm talking about.
I get with that. And I kind of binge watched it over the weekend, Pop the Balloon. And I love the host. I mean, she's pretty fly. I love Arlette. Yes. I love the host. Yes. And the people that come across often wonder exactly like what are you really looking for? Like what are you gunning for? And even in the example that you gave, I honestly do believe that some people they accept these things, or they have these things without even questioning, am I really suited for this person, or am I really, like, when you talk about the guy who's overweight, not really taking care of himself, but he wants a woman who, I don't know, is fit, workout, and he thinks that's okay. I think there are some things that people probably have, I don't know if I can say it, have accepted about themselves, or some things about themselves that they don't question that maybe they should question and bring into reality, instead of, this is just me. I get it. That's just who you are. But it's kind of like, if, and I don't mean to say it like this. If you're that's a bad analogy. If you're a $5 person, but you want $1 million man or woman,
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that that's really the idea. However, there's the other side of that, and that's not to say that you can't be who you are. That's not to say that people shouldn't accept you. I don't want to say that, but I think there's some part of that you really have to look at and go, can I really pull this person? Like, can I really? Is this really the reality of where I am? I just think that some things just may need to be questioned. But again, we're not saying don't accept you. Like, you are who you are, and that's okay. And you're for no one else to change. But I just think that we kind of have to be a little honest about some things when it comes to us. That's all.
And I agree with that. Now there are also those instances where, you really do have to keep an open mind, because in some of the skits I've seen, or episodes or whatever that I've seen, where there was this guy, very attractive guy, and the girl was, going down the line talking to the gentleman. And when she got to him, he told her that she looked nice and everything, but he preferred more of a natural woman. And she said, oh, what you mean? All I got on is lip gloss and that's it. But truthfully, she had weave, she had eyelashes a foot long, she had on pancake makeup, and he wasn't saying that was bad. He was just saying what he preferred, but she insisted that everything about her was natural, which it wasn't. Right. Now, for her, that may have been her definition of natural, and that's fine. But I think sometimes when, in those instances, there may be some nuggets of truth to where you can take what the person is saying, take a step back and say, well, maybe if I did this, this, and this, or if that's just not you, then that's not you, because some men that doesn't bother them. Right. But if someone has the opinion of, hey, I prefer more of a natural woman with the hair, but without all the weaves, her natural hair, just a little bit of light makeup, no false eyelashes, this and that, because I'm one of those women where I don't do any of that stuff.
Right.
And mainly I don't do that because I can't do it. Because if I tried to do the makeup and the weave and the eyelashes, I would walk out the door every day looking like Bozo the Clown. Truthfully. So I don't do it because I can't do it.
Right.
But there are some women who are natural, who their glow is beautiful. But if that's not for you, if you like to weave, I used to wear it. I don't, come down on women that like that, but he was just telling her about his preference, but she became angry. And you don't have to be angry. You just have to be you and say, like a lot of them, but I received that. I understand. Okay, thank you. Next. And that's it.
I think I can get with that. But does that mean that I necessarily have to change who I am to fit inside of a box?
No. You just still have to be you. You just be you and understand that you're not everyone's cup of tea. But you still be true to yourself. Be honest with yourself.
But I am everybody's cup of tea.
Okay, but if you're everyone's cup of tea, then hi. A pardon moi.
With honey and lemon.
With honey. Okay. I am so. I apologize. I
am apologize.
Cup of tea. How dare
I? Talking about.
How dare I? But if you don't have. You just have to be genuinely you.
Right.
Don't. Some people, and I've seen. There was this guy. I can't think of his name. I think it was on Facebook, where he talked about the thing about the eyelashes. He was like, "What is that? Why do you think guys care about? What is that?" And these eyelashes were just an insane length. But be you, be true and genuine to yourself, and you can't. I don't want to call it get out of character or become angry.
Right.
If someone says, "Hey, you look crazy," you look crazy to me. Well, you just look crazy to that one person. Keep in mind, there are over 8 billion people on this planet. Don't let one, pull you.
But there are some people who really don't question themselves to the point of, it's they come as they are. There are a lot of people who just really don't question themselves about anything. And again, it's not about fitting inside of someone's box. Like you say, you become you, but you have to be real about certain things. You Kevin Samuels, and I don't know if you've ever listened to him.
And not to speak ill of the dead because he's gone.
And I didn't listen to him a lot, but some of the things that I did, and some of the things that he would say, I'm thinking, this is just a little harsh. Like
I agree.
Who does that?
I agree.
But I was speaking with one of my acting buddies, and we got on this conversation about dating and stuff, and I just happened to bring him up, and he was like, "Yeah, I get it. Some of the things may have been a little harsh." He said, "But it's the reality. Like, you can't be this person with, what he was saying with like all these kids, and you expect to have a certain kind of man." And again, this is not to say, and let me just kind of put disclaimer out here, we have this topic, but this is not to say that, no one's, in a place where they can't date, they can't have, I don't care how many kids you have, I don't care what you look like. I think there's somebody out there for everybody. So, this is not to say that, you can't have someone or you have to change for somebody and fit inside of a box. You be you and do what makes you feel good and makes you happy. Any and everything that we say here is a lot for entertainment purposes only. You get a lot of good information here, a lot of good resources, but I want to be able to put that out there. But he basically was saying that you can't be a type of person, let's just say on the lower end, and you expect to be with someone on a much higher end, like what he would call is it a top tier person, and in my mind, I'm going, well, why can't she? Like, why can't any woman or any man for that matter have what they want? But his whole point about it was, like you were saying, I guess you can't be this kind of way and expecting a certain kind of person when you know for yourself that that person is probably just not in your league. Like it's like, you know,
and to a certain extent, I agree. Now you may find this guy who's just checks all the boxes, who's truly top tier, and you're not. Now the only time that I think that you all will mesh and go together if he just like genuinely likes you. But most men have these expectations of how you need to look, how you need to dress, right. All these things about you. Because if he's top tier and he takes you to a black tie function, he's got to tell you how to dress, how to look,
right,
how to talk to his colleagues and all those people.
Right.
You can't walk in there with inappropriate outfit on. You have to speak a certain way,
right?
And you might, if you're not top tier, you may not know how to engage in conversation. And let's just say they want to talk about current events, and if you're not top tier, you have no clue what's going on. All you know is somebody shot
right.
him around the stove yesterday. You know, they're not going to want to talk about that. That's going to be embarrassing to him. So he wants someone that can, no, he may have, you shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it.
Well, we know you're going to say it.
You just a side chick. He can have fun with you. He can come over and hang out.
Right.
He don't mind putting you in his Maserati, riding you around the corner to go get some chicken.
Right.
But other than that, that's the end of it. On the other side, he's going to be with Beverly because she's got this high-powered job. She can, put on the dog and pony show.
Right. Right.
So it's just one of those things where, but still, be true to you. There may be instances of where you feel like, okay, well, I think I do want to engage with people on that level. You're going to have to know how to do that. And there are times when some people that they just don't know. They just don't understand it, so they stay where they are.
Well, I mean,
that does not make you a bad person.
Well, but that's going with what you're saying. There are just people who don't see anything wrong with, for example, cleavage, or a guy who, I don't know,
with the pants sagging.
Well, with pants sagging or not dressed. I don't want to say to the nine. I mean, I don't, but, there are some people who just like, this is because it's just their world. And they don't see anything wrong with that.
And if you, there are some of us, black folk who have a foot in both.
Right.
Who know how to function in both.
Right.
And then there are some who stay on one side or the other. That's just it. They really don't understand the other side, and so they don't cross over.
Well, that's
they wouldn't know how to function. If they had to, if to go to the hood to get the best chicken,
right.
they run in and they get out. But then there are some who, that they can do both.
And I think the detrimental part with all of that is, you find yourself in this cycle. You find yourself in this cycle. You find yourself in this space or in this place where, maybe you're constantly attracting the wrong people. You're not exactly looking through the lens of how other people see you. And I get it that, granted, how other people see you is really not your business, like because you're being you. But sometimes the way other people see us should be taken as a lesson to, if it's dress better, look better, talk better, walk better, whatever that looks like. It's there for a reason. So I definitely get, what you're saying. So if, if you know that you want a particular person, this in this particular group or whatever, then it's kind of like you kind of have to dress and be the part.
And I agree, but that all goes back to the thing of being, I think, and I could be wrong, but this is my opinion, being literally afraid of the unknown. What if he invites me to the black tie affair and I do the wrong thing, say the wrong thing? Because in some instances, when you go to certain high caliber events, you are literally crucified for using the wrong spoon.
True.
And so just things like that, all of those details, to certain people, they matter. But when you're at home, a spoon is a spoon, or even if, eat with your hands or just whatever it is. So it kind of becomes a thing of, what do I do? What if I do the wrong thing? What if I say the wrong thing? I just can't stand there on his arm looking the part and just smiling because someone may ask me, what do you think of blah, 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 so-and-so, so-and-so.
But, I mean,
you don't even know enough to ad-lib.
I don't listen. Okay, so I don't know. Let's just say I'm not a connoisseur of certain things, but maybe the person that I'm interested in is. Does that mean that I have to steer clear of that person? I mean, I'm not a millionaire. I'm not, well, at least not yet. I'm not, I know the status and the group, the club or whatever. I know where my place is, but at what point do I say, or where is it okay that even though I may not be at that status, does that mean I can't, I don't know, be in the next group or be with the guy that is a connoisseur of sorts?
I think you can, as long as you have the mindset of learning and building. And that means being very attentive to, when you're in that circle or in that atmosphere, to listening to what they talk about, what they say, how they act, how they present themselves, just being completely open-minded. And today with the internet, there are so many sources that you can use as tools, tutorials, if you want to go that route.
Right.
And really, to be honest, a lot of times what I have found is that a lot of those people, because I've worked in situations, especially being in healthcare, where I've literally been around Nobel Prize winners of medicine, because I've worked in healthcare for many years.
Oh, wow.
And initially I was like, okay, I'm nervous. This guy's a doctor, world renowned, blah, blah, blah. And this man was so down to earth, talked about the most mundane stuff.
You didn't try to get his phone number? You didn't try to get a phone number? You didn't try to be like, you know what, let me put this mop and broom up. Let me go fix myself up real quick. Let me throw some Purex behind my ears. Let me.
Yeah, I'm just nervous as all get out. And he was the nicest little white man. And every time I came, you don't have to call me Dr. So-and-so, call me Steve or whatever his name was. I mean, just to really, and not all of them are like that, but just to keep in mind that having the presence of mind to pick up on certain things. Some of them are just down to earth, and in a lot of instances, they appreciate the when they can be around someone where they can turn that switch off.
Right.
Where they don't have to be all prim and proper and high caliber. They can just be Steve or Donna or Carmichael or whoever they are.
Right.
So but it's just, you really have to have the mindset of just being open enough to pick up on that. But still, those are people that can have a foot on both sides.
I get that. And I think I get that. And I understand that well. But I think there are just some people who, going back to your example, who feel like, I can and I should. And
that's fear.
Like
fear.
The world should be able to say yes to me because it doesn't matter
No, and that's
what
fear.
I look like, how I sound, how
No,
I do whatever. Like
that's fear. That is total. That's total fear. That is total and complete fear, especially for the people who are not a part of the high caliber side.
Right.
Now, you can still be you, and I'm totally saying that you should not be, that as far as changing.
Right.
But no matter who you are, there's always room for improvement. But don't let fear, hold you back. We're not saying change and be something totally different, but there's always room for improvement. You can always be better, because I look at it as, if I do something to make me better, I can always be better for whoever I may encounter, down the road, 2 weeks from now, 2 years from now, a month from now. So change is not bad, but you really have to be prayerful and keep in mind and be objective about it. Don't change to be different. Change to be better.
Right. I get that. And I think a lot of times in talking about blind reality and unrealistic expectations, I think a lot of that stems from trauma, past disappointment, low self-esteem, low self-worth.
I agree.
I think it's, and some people become a little bit burnt out in dating, so to speak. And so I think, and like you said, fear, or maybe that lack of having that sort of experience. And I think it's all those people in that pool. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people go into this looking for love, dating, all of that. And maybe some people who are probably in relationships that may not be healthy. They're toxic. I think it's a mixture of that. And I think that's the reason why you have the blind expectation. I mean, the unrealistic expectation, or the blind reality. And I think that's why a lot of people are kind of caught up in that sort of wheel, and it sucks, to be
does.
there.
It sucks, and it robs you from the perspective of,
right.
You're 20 years old.
Right.
The world is your oyster. You're looking for your pearl, and like all the things that you just mentioned, and you wake up and you're 43.
Right.
And nothing has materialized, because unbeknownst to you, the blind part of it, you've been doing this same thing and expecting a different result.
Yeah.
And you keep asking why.
Yeah.
And if you're just doing the same thing, and even if you go to a different place, you still take those same traits, those same characteristics, that same behavior, that same damage, brokenness, toxicity, looking for something fresh, new, and healthy, when you're not going to attract that. You're going to repel those things, because no one is going to want to get with you. Now, they may in the very beginning, but the real you always surfaces. And when they realize, hopefully following their first mind, that, hey, this guy or this girl, not it, gotta go, they leave. And then you fall right back into that cycle of everybody that I get with leaves. Well, it's not because of them, it's because of you. But the blindness is, hey, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm just being me. You're just going to accept me that's how I am. You just got to get used to me. No, we don't.
And that's kind of how I feel like some of the contestants on that show really are. Now, granted, a lot of the women that come through there, honestly, are gorgeous, good-looking women. And
half naked.
Which is
half naked. Half naked, looking for a good man.
I didn't say that. I said they were naked. Cute.
Oh
I didn't say that. I said
it.
Of course you would, but you're not wrong. And what I was gonna say was, in their beauty, there are a lot of them, and you can see it. I mean, it's for a lot of them, it's evident, and I don't want to put that on anyone, but you can tell that a lot of them have either just like they're burnt out with it. I'm just here, like I'm just gonna settle for what whatever comes. you could tell that some of them don't have the self-esteem, the confidence, or the self-worth. Like they don't believe in them and who they are. And not just the women, I can't put it all on them. Some of the men that the guys, some of the men that come out there, you can kind of tell that a lot of them are in a broken place. And
also on both sides, men and women, when someone pops their balloon, you just see them shrink a little bit more.
You do, and it's
you can see it.
You can see it, and I have even seen it, of course, where you have a girl that come out and she may say, excuse me, and she may say, well, I'm looking for a man of God, and you got balloons popping, like you said before, like fireworks going off. Yeah. And exactly. she'll go down the line to say, hey, why did you pop your balloon, or whatever. And they may say, well, the God thing, I'm not really that religious. And the girl may go into her explanation of, but that's fine if you're not, like, it may not be for everybody. And I get that. But I can tell by the looks on a lot of their faces that there's something behind their eyes. And I think a lot of it is trauma. I think a lot of it, even for them, is their low self-esteem, their confidence level. And, again, going back to those elements of fear, burnout, avoiding certain spaces and places. I mean, you get a lot of that on both sides, and
I agree. And for me, and this is just still my opinion, I just think that the avoidance comes from the fact of not facing yourself realistically to say, I'm unhealed. Right. Because in order to heal, you've got to face the thing that hurt you, that broke you, that traumatized you, even if it was something that happened to you when you were 5 years old. Right. Because when you avoid it, you can walk around in la la land, but things may happen to make you think about that thing or those things that happened to you when you were 5 years old, 15 years old, yesterday, whatever it was. Right. And you just, you avoid that. You just don't want to say, yes, that did hurt me. It hurt my feelings. I feel this way and that way. Yes, so-and-so should apologize, but I hope, and I tell myself, gotten to a place of where I must, in order for me to be healed and to feel good about myself and to really embrace true forgiveness, I must accept apologies that are never given, and I must grant forgiveness that's never asked for. Right. And that is not easy, but it is a step in my journey of healing and embracing who I am. And, I may think about it from time to time, and when I do, I just have to just really go into a prayerful place and just move forward. Because God did not say it would be easy, but he did say to forgive. Right. Because he forgave me. Right. And like you said, when you see a lot of those people, you can just know that there's something that they're hanging on to, that they're clinging to, that they want resolution, but they just have not evolved enough in their journey to resolve that. And sometimes resolving that means you've got to get into a place all by yourself. And honestly, a lot of people, and
I don't think they really know how to do that.
They just don't want to be by themselves because that thing hurts so much.
I don't think they really know how to do that because, even in my practice, I come across that quite a bit with people. Yeah. And they have come to a place where they have accepted the unsatisfying. They have accepted what's unhealthy. They have accepted what's incompatible. It becomes their norm, and they don't question it. They don't question whether or not they deserve better. What you hear is, well, this is my better. Like this is, and no matter how much.
That, basically, that's a translation for I'm not living. I'm just functioning through my trauma, through my pain, through my hurt, through my damage, through my state of being unhealed. I'm just functioning. And basically what I had to realize about myself when I was going through a certain situation is that I was just a zombie.
Yeah.
Just a zombie. And I had to heal from that.
Right.
And so I could live and embrace and enjoy life.
Right. No, I totally get that. I mean, I think people in this, and in this circle of blind reality, this cycle, they're mistaking resignation for realism.
Yes.
And they're staying in and they're tolerating poor dating, poor relationships,
yes.
marriage,
yes.
even. You get it shouldn't be that way. But again, like you said, this has become their norm because
yes.
of whatever they have gone through in the past, and it is what it is. And like you said, this avoidance is, because I feel like nobody will want me, nobody is gonna, and because I think a lot of people, kind of going back to your example in the very beginning, I think a lot of people have just accepted just the road that they're on. I think they have built this house, and I think they have just accepted, instead of, because when you're in a home, when you're in a room, you can make that room to be anything you want it to be. You don't have to live in the mess. You can make it whatever you want. But I think people become tired of the rearranging and the cleaning and the this and the that.
Yes.
And they just, whoever comes by is just whoever comes by. But you don't have to accept that. And this isn't about changing yourself to fit inside of a box. This is just saying that it's okay to have a little bit of adjustment if you want to attract a certain person or for example, going back to the guy and, who's, overweight or whatever. If the idea is, I want someone who's fit, that's fine. That's your preference. What are you going to do to change you to be able to attract that?
There you go. Because and even using that weight as an example,
right?
You have people who would go the traditional route. We're just talking about weight, whether it's man or woman, of losing weight, of cutting calories, exercising, meditation, taking a traditional route, and then you have the people who get on whatever new fad weight loss drug.
Right.
Well, no one is saying that, you have to do what the new thing is, or if you're doing the new thing, you should do what the old thing is. At least go on your journey and embrace the fact that no matter what you do, you're going to have to make some hard decisions.
Right.
You're going to have to set boundaries for yourself.
Right.
And you're going to have to stick with those decisions and understand that in climbing that mountain, you're going to have to do the hard work, and realizing that through that hard work, through that process, you get to know yourself a little bit more each day, what you can say no to, what you can say yes to, what you can improve, what you can stop doing, new things, new habits that you can pick up. You'll get to evolve, and understanding that evolving is a process, not a take a pill and the next day everything's like you want it to be.
No, and I definitely agree. And just to kind of add to that and to reiterate some things, it's again, it's not about changing to fit inside of a box, because I've seen some plus size women whose confidence level was basically through the roof.
Absolutely.
Like I've gone on vacation, and this plus size woman, like she was a plus size lady, and I'm a plus size woman. So, and she was a little bigger than me. But she was in her 2-piece, and I'm just looking at this woman and I'm like, like, if I had that level of confidence,
yes,
and if I didn't have that level of fear, I think I'd be wearing my 2-piece too. And she looked good. I mean, and it was her confidence. And so it's not even so much about the losing the weight within itself, but it work on your confidence, work on your self-esteem, because that makes the biggest, you can be the biggest person in the world, but when you walk literally when you walk inside of a room, and you will light up that room.
And at some point it makes you wish, man, I wish that was me.
Right.
I wish I
of course. Because like I said, when I saw her, I was like, she is absolutely gorgeous. Like she,
yes.
Again, if I had that level of confidence, I'd be like, okay, but I'm gonna stick to my one piece,
you'll have some
but
women who will be the size 6 who will hate on her.
Right.
But her confidence is beautiful.
Right.
Her aura is sexy.
Right.
I mean, everything about her is fabulous. She's glamorous.
Right.
And she has this gorgeous man where people are like, why he want her? She 200 pounds. Well, but he loves all of her. And
every
truthfully,
piece.
She exudes everything that a woman should be, that a man would want.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Yes. So, be you in this thing, but be the happy you, be the high self-esteem you, be the high confidence level you. I'm all for, when we talked about cleavage and different things, short skirts, short dresses, I'm all for classy, but be classy and wear some self-esteem with it. Wear some confidence with it. Like, you don't necessarily have to get into your mind that this is what's going to attract this person, because the reality of it is, people want what they want. I get that, but the reality of it is, you really kind of have to address the trauma. You got to be able to address your pain. You have to be able to really peel back the layers and look within you, because you can put nothing on and attract someone, but you're going to attract the wrong kind of person.
Exactly.
So don't again, it's not about, well, you mean to tell me I gotta go ahead and lose 60 pounds or this or what? No, it's not about that. It's about you being able to work on you as a person. It's about you being able to look at yourself and say, how do I see me? It's about you being able to look at you and go, okay, what is my self-confidence level like? What is my self-esteem like? It's about you being able to look at you and say, okay, here's the reality of it. And if the reality is, well, maybe I need to, if you want to take off, say, a few pounds here or whatever, you do that. But you do it with the idea of accepting you for who you are. That's the biggest thing. Accepting you for who you are, but being honest and real about it. Because
that's what I was about to say. Be honest with yourself. I saw this thing on, I think it was Facebook, of where and it was on AI, where she presented all of these, these like 7 or 8 men or whatever, and they all had red flags, and one of them was just like a simple thing and it's just one little thing, which could be a big thing. One guy says, "Hi, I'm Tyrone," or whatever his name was. And he says, "I'm great, I'm this, I'm that, blah, blah, blah. I have a great job, I'm secure, blah, blah, blah. But my breath is bad." Be honest with yourself and go to the dentist.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes it's small things, it's little things, but like you said, it's being honest with yourself. Really be honest, and don't minimize the whatever it might be, or what those things are that could be, literally
because
holding you back.
I've even heard people say, and this was years ago, I was in a conversation with someone and they liked this particular person, and I said something about, well, why don't you just just go say hello, this and that and the third, and just kind of see where it goes or whatever, or have you thought about getting on a dating site or whatever it was. But they were like, I work a particular job and I make this set amount of money. And they were like, there's no way in the world that I would be able to date this person and not be able to take care of them the way that I want to take care of them. Just the basic of taking them out or buying flowers or whatever. Their thing was, I've got to be able to get some money basically have a better job if I'm going to date someone, because I can't date anyone and I'm asking them to come pick me up, or I got to take the bus and meet them at the restaurant. Like they're facing the reality that where they sit right now in their world, they just were not prepared to bring someone in it. I can get with that and I can agree with that. And I think that's what the whole conversation is basically centered around. There are certain changes and adjustments that you just might have to make, and that's okay.
And that should be motivation.
Yes.
That should be motivation for you.
Yes. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think we all have to make certain adjustments, from time to time. And again, that's not to say that you have to change to fit inside of a box, but there are just things that you may have to do if you want to attract a certain, I don't want to say a certain kind of person, but if you're going out here in the dating world, or whatever, there may be certain adjustments and things that you may have to do. Again, the idea, if you're one of those people who say don't drink water or don't eat healthy, and you're talking about bringing somebody in your life, well, you kind of have to think about the fact that if you're not taking care of you, you're not going to be with this person very long, because no one wants to be a caregiver. So let me drink my water. Let me at least get myself together enough so that I can be with whomever, or be in this dating arena. Again, same way with marriage. I mean, you can't be the best version of you if you're not taking care of you. So when we talk about the blind reality or the unrealistic expectation, that's kind of what we mean. I think, because we have this expectation that somebody should and they have to, but the reality is they don't.
Exactly.
And so you can't expect that of other people. Like if I look a certain way, or if I dress a certain way, I expect the world to be like, okay, well, let me give this person a chance or a shot. But again, the reality is, it's not going to happen. So what am I going to do as the other human to make the adjustment?
Those people are going to be attracted to or repelled by what they see.
Right.
Because they don't know you.
They don't.
And you don't present yourself as someone, well, hey, get to know me. They're going to be like, you're not, what my cup of tea. And they're not going to even give you that opportunity when you don't present yourself as someone that says, hey, well, give me a chance. You can get to know me. But I agree. I agree with that. I totally agree.
Well, Idris has already told me that he is going to accept me for the way that I am.
Oh, my gosh. I got mama on speed dial to call her and tell her that,
he is going to accept me for the way that I am. So you know what? We just go roll with it.
You not only have blinders on, you got blinders on, shades, a mask, a thing wrapped around you.
Listen. I'm just Linda. Listen. I'm just saying. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda.
Honey, no. When it comes to that situation, I'm Helen Keller. Can't see, hear, or talk. No, honey. No.
Listen, Linda. But no, and I think, and I'm glad that we had this conversation about it, because I see it a lot and I hear it a lot. I'm in conversations with other people, about this same thing, the same idea. But here it is, kind of in a nutshell. Don't be blind to what's real. You can't be thugged out or whatever when it and expect to have a healthy, wholesome type relationship. I mean, there are some adjustments that you're just gonna have to make. Now, if you
Yes.
find that person who loves the thugged out you, then I mean, hey,
there you go.
You make it work. We're
There you
not
go.
saying
There you
that
go.
you have to fit inside of a box. It's not about that. It's about sometimes you may just have to make certain adjustments, and you may have to do a certain thing,
And as I always say, give yourself grace to change
Please
and
do.
to make progress.
Please do.
It's not going to happen overnight.
Right. That's it. That's basically it. And
Yes.
low self-confidence, low self-esteem, that trauma, that avoidance, start peeling back those layers.
Yes.
If you're in therapy, bring it up, talk about it. If you go to therapy is great.
Yes.
Everybody should be in it, like literally. I mean, because we all need that. It's healing. It's the healing. It's coming out of that broken place, and just I hate using the word fixing, but just healing you, really.
Yes.
And understanding, where you're coming from and where you want to go, and understanding why you may tolerate a certain thing. What can I do to have a better and healthy relationship? But it starts with understanding, having a better level of understanding you.
Yes.
I love these self-help workbooks. The self-love workbook for women, and there's another self-love workbook for men, actually, and you can find these on Amazon. It's a self-love workbook for women, and self-love workbook for men is the title. And use these workbooks to start finding you and start finding your place. That's fine if you're a woman or a man with 5 kids. Yes. Great. What are you willing to do to have a healthy relationship? That could be anything from healing, working on you, working on your self-esteem, working on your confidence, working on boundaries, anything. It doesn't have to, it doesn't mean that you have to throw the kids out or anything like that. And don't say no one is going to want me and my children. That is such a misconception. It's not that.
Do all of those things to be a better you. Yes. So you don't have to be in a relationship. You don't have to be married. Do it for your peace of mind.
Right.
And when you do it for your peace of mind, even if you're single, when you walk out that door, you do all of these things. And like I said, it's a process. Do not expect overnight results, but when you do all of these things, and when you walk out of that door, your glow, your aura is going to be so massive.
It is.
It is going to just radiate, and it is going to be gigantic.
It is.
Because you're going to be a better you, an improved you, a wonderful you, and even before anyone else does, you are going to love yourself.
You're going, and you really are. I think about Lizzo before Lizzo lost the weight. And Lizzo was just being herself.
Yeah, she was.
Lizzo she was living life. Now, I don't speak to her personal, because I don't know what her personal was. I just know as a plus size woman, she was just living her life.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, either you accept me or you don't. I don't care. That's fine. But she realized at some point, I just want to work on me. And in whatever capacity working on her meant to her, that's just what she did. So in whatever capacity working on you means, by all means, do that. Just do that. Still be you at the end of the day, because she is still her at the end of the day. Because even in losing the weight, we'll just say, for example, she went from a size 20 to a size 14. Which may not be real, but that's just an example.
Right.
She put herself where she wanted to be. And that's okay. And again, it's not about weight. We're just using that as an example. But the idea is work on what you want to work on when it comes to you. If the idea is I'm gonna be this thug, but I'm gonna work on my self-esteem and my self-confidence, then fine, be a confident thug. I mean, what I can't say, I mean, it is what it is. But I think being able to bring this to the table, the hope is that it has resonated with some people, because I think we do tend to, no matter who we are, what we're doing, whether we're a millionaire or I don't know, making $10 an hour, whatever that looks like, I think there's some level of something that we may feel like we want to work on when it comes to us. Then fine, you do that. But no matter what, be you in it, but be the confident you. Be the you that has the high self-esteem. Be the healed you. Non-toxic you. The non-toxic you. Whatever that looks like. Because I do feel like, and I do believe that there is somebody that's out there for everybody, and I think depending on what you're willing to tolerate and put up with, because people only treat us the way that we let them treat us, yes. And that can only go so far. So don't allow yourself to be torn down and put down and let down constantly. Don't avoid dating because of that one person, that one individual. You can't lump everybody in the same box, but we just say, find your healing spot, find your place, again, your couch, find your chair, find your place of solace, so that you can be the best that you can be. And you're not living on this wheel of this blind reality, or living in this space of an unrealistic, expectation. But, in all things, we say, help is out there if there has been some trauma in your life, or what you may consider trauma, find a support system, that can help you with some of these things. We're humans and we're going to have flaws. Yes. I mean, yes. It is what it is. And we love our flaws. We love our imperfections. It's the thing that makes us us. And that's totally okay. Love you at the end of the day, man or woman, just love you and be you. But I hope that this has resonated with someone, and this has given you a laugh, that it has brought some things to the table, for yourself, So yeah, I don't know, Connie. I mean, this is, I think this is just one of these things that come across people just about every day, because
absolutely,
we're
absolutely.
We're out here looking and growing and evolving, all the time.
And no matter what age you are, like I said, we're out here growing and evolving, and in all things, stay true to you. Keep in mind that you can always be better, and above everything else, when you don't know, when you don't understand, that's why God is there. You can always get down on your knees and ask him questions. He will answer you. Sometimes he doesn't answer you right away, because he wants to take you through the process. And there's learning, growth, healing, abundance. There's all good things in the process. So you just have to trust God.
Right.
You really have to do that. And I'm just so grateful for everyone listening to us. Hopefully you can take away some nuggets of wisdom. And Sharita doesn't know that I'm going to still tell Mama about this Idris Elba thing now. And I hope she keeps in mind that, King Charles just gave him the title of Sir Idris Elba.
Is he my man? My man is a sir now.
I'm not gonna call him Sir Idris. I'm just gonna call him
my man.
No.
My man.
I'm not gonna call him Sir Idris.
You better call him Idris.
I'm just gonna call him Get the Hell On.
You better call him Sir Idris. My man got a title. My man got a title. We can walk in a Walmart with our heads held high. We got this.
I'm gonna throw a tomato at that man.
We can go into Walmart with our heads held high. Royalty. You hear me? Royalty.
Lord, hon. I'm gonna throw a tomato at that man.
Love it. Listen, you guys, this has been absolutely wonderful. And And you can join us here every Thursday, 7 p.m. on Hindsight Media Radio 103.5 FM, where there's always something good to talk about, always. Catch us on YouTube, On the Couch with Sharita, if you don't get a chance to catch us here. But this is what it's all about. It's about being able to bring things to the table, being able to talk about some stuff, because that's what the couch is. You are on the couch and you sit, you talk, you laugh, you may even cry, but this is a place where you can just come and just hang out and chill with your glass of wine or whatever you got. We're glad that you're able to join us and to be with us always. But listen, happy Thursday to everybody. Go out here, enjoy your weekend, make good choices. And yeah, Lord's will, we will see you back here next week. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, everyone. Love and kisses. Bye.